Hello, welcome to Joos. My name's John McDonald, and today I've been inspired by a place just up the road from where I live where there's a ditch, and in the ditch there's bulrushes, and I've always been wanting to cut some to get some of this beautiful typha foliage. And I've cut this big piece, but I'm thinking it's a little bit big. It depends where you're going to put it, but it's a really useful material. So we've got the bulrush, and we've got these beautiful allium flowers at the moment. And then the other thing that I've got is this container, which I find quite exciting, which I found in a charity shop. It's looking a little bit rough and ready, but it's a beautiful shape, and I think this is really going to showcase our material. So what I've done is I've put a Kenzan or a pin holder down in the bottom, and that's going to give us our base. And the first thing I want to do is just cut our material. Now, these are quite big and heavy, so what I am going to do is I'm going to use some stones as well to help hold this. So essentially this is going to be in water with no foam, and what I want to do is get these in as well. So this one's shorter. Quill. Like that. And we've got some beautiful, interesting stems here. So, again, I'm going to just feed this in with some larger stones that really just, again, came from the garden. And this is going to give some support. So the pin holder is supporting the stems exactly where I want them to be, and these are giving support further up through the container. And you don't need to add a huge amount, but you want it to be secure. But what I would quite like to do is fill this container with water. So that it's a good size. And depending on how you want to do it, you could fill this up to the top and make a feature of it as well. So we've got our direction of our flowers going this way, and we've got our big piece of material here. But really, this is too much. I want to completely change this and start to create a little bit more interest and a little bit more movement and rhythm with this material. And this is quite organic, so you don't really know what direction it's going to go in until you really start. So we just need to work it. And what you can do with the typha is you can actually split it. And I can just do this with my nail. But you could just as easily do this with a knife as well. So I want to come and create like a structure. So we've taken something that is quite simple, but we're making it into something else. And in some ways, like sometimes people say, oh, do you have an idea of what you're doing when you start? In some ways with something like this, no, is the answer. And this is what the fun of flower arranging can be about, is that you actually are just creating something unique with the materials you've got. So you've really got to just kind of look at your material and decide how you want it to work. So what I really want is we've got the flowers going this way, we've got a strong base, but we want to create a bit of movement going in an opposite direction or a contrasting direction. And of course this still has to balance with our container and our flowers. And I think this is quite interesting to see how these develop. And to be honest, these flowers will be fine. Or should I say, these leaves will be fine with our cutting slices in them, cutting holes in them. It's not going to kill them, it's not going to be a problem. We can just work this to make a shape, a form, giving it rhythm, giving it interest, but still actually keeping it very simple. And this actually is quite nice, just coming up a little bit. So I think this is a good example of finding materials, seeing potential in those materials, and just having a play, having an experiment to see what you can do with it. If you're making multiple cuts in one stem like this, or one leaf like this, just be careful that you don't start to run the cut into itself. You want to keep those holes kind of distinct. And we need to just see, so. And we can come forward and capture space. I can use the line in between these to help capture. I've actually got one or two extra leaves here as well, so we don't need to be stuck. This was just one or two of the outer ones that came with it. And this will give us an arrangement that will be quite long lasting. And also will work in different ways from different directions. So, I can bring this in and just slide that down to the base. So we're creating something quite sculptural, quite fun actually. Just something a little bit different, but because of the size of our bulrush greenery, we've actually got something on quite a big scale, which is good fun as well. And there we go. We've got an arrangement that's dynamic, with rhythm, with literally just two types of material, but we've created something that's quite interesting. So obviously you need to play with this and decide how you want this to be. You might not want this to be out there, you could bring it back in. I think in a way it's quite nice having this feeling of something large, an area here, but then the line and the line is good. So, a simple arrangement, not using floral foam, but creating something that's quite dynamic and a little bit different, and really showcasing the beauty of these flowers and the stems that are nice and straight. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, click here. We hope to see you soon.